All right. Good morning, 8-9A. I hope that you're doing well and had a good weekend and that you are ready to come back to work at school soon. So let's jump into today's lesson. I hope that you all completed your survival scenarios and that you picked wisely. So once again, here's the scenario that you should have read. And here is your inventory. So we'll do a full analysis of this once you're back in class, but let's just go over how useful the following things were. Packs of 6 boxes times 50 matches is very useful. If you did not include this in your 10 items, you're probably at a much bigger disadvantage than anyone else. It's probably the most important item on the list because matches allow you to make fire. Okay, a roll of polythene sheeting, 3 meters by 2 meters. That is quite important, not super important. You could use this to sit on and make sure that your clothes don't get wet because the area where you're in has got a lot of snow. Okay, a bottle of brandy is one of the least useful things on the list. The only possible use of the brandy is using it to start a fire because it's slightly flammable. Even it's not even that good at that. Drinking the brandy would be bad because it lowers your core body temperature and the temperature of your skin. So that would make you freeze to death quicker. 1 crate of bottled spring water, only mildly useful because you are on a mountainside with snow everywhere. If you have a fire, you can melt the snow. A small toolbox containing a hammer, screwdriver set, adjustable wrench, hacksaw, etc. Mildly useful, but not that useful. You are not looking to stay here for long. You are waiting for rescue. You do not want to build yourself a cabin. Box of distress signal flares. Very useful, since, as I said, you are waiting for rescue. People know that you're gone, and someone is looking for you. They just don't know exactly where you are. Signal flares would help a lot with that. For small basic first aid kit. Oops, sorry. Very useful. Since you were in a plane crash, the likelihood that some of you have been hurt is very high. So, a first aid kit is important. This is the second most important one we've gotten to so far. Tri-band mobile phone, not very important because, as mentioned in the scenario, you are out of service. There's not a high chance of signal, so your mobile phone might as well be a rock. Clockwork transistor radio, more important because transistor radios have bigger range and they're more likely to get into contact with your search party more easily. Gallon container full of fresh water, same as the bottled spring water, mildly useful. Actually, depends on the other things that you use because to melt the snow, you would still need a pan or something like that. Although you could eat snow to stay hydrated. It's not the worst. Anyway, moving on. Chocolate bars. A little bit higher than mildly useful. You want to survive for a day or 3, so something to eat would be good. A shovel, more than mildly useful. It can be used to create a temporary little shelter for you. You don't need the hammer and the screwdriver set and everything, but a shovel, that could be useful. Short handheld axe, very useful. You need something to gather firewood. As I said before, in this situation, the most important thing is probably fire, since it's so cold. Handgun with a magazine of 20 rounds, not useful at all. A, your fire will probably scare away any wild animals that want to come close. And B, this is a high pressure situation. You don't want one person to have a handgun. If, for example, one person says, no, you should try to find people on your own, which is a bad idea, and the others disagree with him, if you had a handgun, there could be violence. It is not a good idea. 20 meters of nylon rope, quite useful. Rope is just always generally useful. It helps you secure things. Oh dear, sorry about that. I don't know if you heard that. There's construction going on next door. Rope helps you like keep things together. It could help you bringing firewood to your site. It could help you building a temporary shelter. Yeah, rope is useful. Box of peanuts, nope. Peanuts aren't very high in nutritional value, same as the chocolate. And yeah, you could probably find better food around you on the mountainside. Box of tissues, not that helpful. Maybe helpful in making a fire, as you need some kindling, something that burns quickly at the start. A laptop computer, see the previous note with the mobile phone, nope, not useful at all. An inflatable 4-person life raft, only useful as an aid to constructing a campsite, but in general, not that useful. You could also keep it deflated and sit on it on the ground, use it as your floor. The compass. Again, your goal here is to wait for people to come to you. If you move away from the crash site, the likelihood of someone finding you decreases. Insect killer spray. Not that useful. There are not many insects on snowy mountainsides. Insects prefer warmer weather. They're unlikely to be plagued by mosquitoes. Air freshener, that one's hilarious. Only useful in starting a fire, once again. Notebook and pencil, a little bit less than mildly useful, not that useful. Games compendium, not that useful. Sewing kit, useful. You can use that in preparing any clothes that you might have, which is, as you're in a cold mountainside, important, or even help you set up your shelter if you've got some other things. A whistle, quite useful, mildly useful, since you're waiting for rescue. You want to show your rescuers where you are, and blowing on a whistle could help with that. A torch with a set of spare batteries, semi-useful, but not essential. 50 nightlight 6-hour candles, quite useful, since you might want to establish a perimeter or use the candles to go somewhere, but you can also just use a burning piece of stick. Actually, no, that's not that useful. I'm guessing candles would be mildly useful, a little bit more than mild maybe. And then a bag of 6 large blankets, very useful. These are almost essential as you are on a cold mountainside and you do not have a lot of warm clothes. So the large blankets, yeah, they are very useful. In class, we'll go over these in more detail and we'll see who got the winning formula. All right. I hope that you've done your homework and that everything is sorted. I'll come back to you with more work later on.